Hey everyone, welcome to Amy Ulmer Yoga. We're going to do a flow to crow pose today. So we will start on your backs. So bring your soles of the feet to the mat with the knees bent. Bring your feet to the edges of the mat and let your knees drop in. And just bring your hands to your belly and start to tune into your breath. Just feeling the belly expand as you inhale and relax as you exhale. Just releasing any thoughts no longer serving you. Good. And with your next exhale, hug the knees into the chest. Rock a little bit side to side if that feels good. And then we'll come into a gradual happy baby. So start just by hugging behind your thighs, taking your knees wide, flexing your feet like you're going to stamp the ceiling. Broaden your chest and let your spine be long on the mat. And then start to work your hands up your shins if it's available, drawing your knees in towards your armpits. And then you can gradually take hold of your ankles if that's available. Soften the jaw and the eyes. And then maybe you take hold of the outer edges of your feet. Just keep the spine long and the tailbone dropping down towards the mat. And then release and hug the knees in again. And now we'll come into crow on our backs. So you'll bring your feet together, your knees wide. As you exhale, you'll peel your shoulders off the mat and press your arms through your legs. So you're working your arms as far up the thigh-shin connection as you can. And then your knees squeeze into your arms and your core is really working. Breathe, one more breath. Good. Then gently come down, hug the knees in again. And then hug behind the thighs and start to take a couple of rocks up and down the spine. 2 to 3 rocks. And then stay upright, soles of the feet on the mat, hugging behind your thighs, leaning back, broadening your chest, feeling your core turn on. You can stay here or reach your fingers forward. You might be able to float your shins parallel to the mat. Breathe. If you want, you can straighten the legs. Good. And then see if you can roll down to low boat. Press your low back into the mat. And then inhale, come back up to boat. Nice. Broad chest. And then cross at your shins and roll forward or come to the all fours, however you want to get there. Wrists under shoulders, knees under hips. Inhale, drop the belly, draw the heart forward and up. Exhale, press the mat away, tuck the chin and tail, round into your upper back. Inhaling, arching the back. And just a couple more times with your own breath. You can close the eyes and really feel into the spine. Good. Then find a neutral position. Walk your hands a little forward of your shoulders. Tuck your toes and lift your hips up and back. Down dog. You can be still or wiggle around. Bending one knee and straightening the other leg. Pedaling out the feet if it feels good. And now start to find stillness. Spread your fingers wide. Firm your forearms in. Draw the belly in and up. And then gaze forward and slowly step to the top of the mat. Forward fold. Knees can be bent. If you would like, you can take hold of opposite elbows and just hang here. Maybe sway a little bit. Maybe nod the head yes, shake the head no. Just pouring out what no longer serves you. And then release the arms, bend your knees and slowly ragdoll your way up to stand. And then roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Inhale, reach the arms out, around, and up. Exhale, bend the knees and fold. Inhale, halfway lift, lengthen the spine. And exhale, step your left foot back to a lunge. So draw the heart forward, press the back thigh up. And then heel toe your right foot a little more over to the right. Bring your hands inside the right foot for lizard. And hug your right leg into the midline. If you'd like, you can lift and lower your hips. And then you can shift forward and shift back a couple times. Good. Then find stillness and bring that right foot back to, bring the hands to frame the front foot. So right foot more towards the midline, and then step that back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. Inhale, reach the arms up. And exhale, swan dive down. Inhale, halfway lift. And exhale, step your right foot back to a lunge. Draw your heart forward, keep the back leg strong. Gaze forward. And then start to wiggle your left foot a little more over to the left, bringing hands inside, coming into lizard, and then maybe inhaling to lift the hips and exhaling to let the hips sink, finding some dynamic movement. And then shift forward and shift back a couple of times. And then find stillness and heel toe that left foot more towards the midline. Step the back foot forward. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. So we'll start to shift the weight into your left foot, crossing your right knee on top of left. You might be able to cross your right ankle again behind your left, or you can just keep your right toes on the mat. Reach your arms out to a T. Exhale, left arm on top of right. Hook at your elbows and bring your palms together. You can also just hug opposite shoulders. So keep the shoulder blades on the back. Find a spot to take your gaze that's not moving. Maybe lift the elbows a little bit, bring the hands a little further away from the face if it's available. And then unwind the arms and the legs. Step your right foot back and on a 45-degree angle. Straighten your left leg, moving your hip points towards the front, drawing left hip back, right hip forward. Hands to your hips, draw your elbows towards each other, lift your sternum and exhale, fold. Bring the hands down to the mat or blocks. Just folding over this left leg. Left knee can be a little bent. You don't want to be jamming anything. And then really call up energy through the legs, up the legs, and notice how that frees up your spine to fold a little deeper. Good. Then inhale, halfway lift. Step your right foot back and spin the heel up. Plant your hands and step back to down dog. And then option to take a vinyasa or skip it. So if you're taking the vinyasa, inhale to rock forward to plank. Shift forward a little bit, lower either knees, chest, chin, or halfway down, chaturanga. Inhale through up dog or cobra. And exhale up and back, down dog. Gaze forward, bottom of your exhale, step or hop to the top. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press through the feet, reach the arms up. And exhale, hands to heart. So we'll start to shift the weight into your right foot, crossing left knee over right. You can cross your left ankle behind the right or just set left toes on the mat. Arms out to a T, right arm over left. Hook at your elbows, bring the palms together, or take hold of opposite shoulders. Keep the shoulder blades on the back. Find a spot to take your gaze. Draw your ribs and navel in. Maybe lift your elbows a little bit. Bring your hands a little further away from your face if it's available. Nice. Then unwind and step your left foot back on a 45-degree angle, squaring up your hips towards the front. Hands to hips, lift your sternum, elbows move towards each other with a long spine. Exhale and fold over your leg, and bring your hands down to frame the right foot, or your hands can be on blocks. Keep drawing right hip back, left hip forward. And then really call up energy through the legs, lifting your kneecaps or engaging your quads, and then freeing up the spine to fold in a little deeper on the exhale. Good, then inhale, halfway lift and lengthen. Step the left foot back a little bit, spin the heel up. Plant your hands and step back to down dog. Again, optional vinyasa. You can always bring the knees down and rest. If you're taking the vinyasa, as you inhale, rock forward to plank. Gaze forward slowly, lower, halfway or all the way down. Inhaling through up dog or cobra, and exhaling back, down dog. And then bring the knees down to the mat. We'll come to a seat, extending the legs out in staff pose, sitting up nice and tall. And then cross your right knee all the way on top of left. You can keep this left leg extended or swing your left heel around towards your right glute, beside your right glute. And you're trying to make this even shape with your legs, so you might have to scoot your right foot back and your left foot forward. You can take one hand on top of each knee and kind of draw them together a little bit. And then reach your arms up. Bend your left elbow, the right hand presses down on top. You can stay here or take the right thumb around and down and clasp, or catch close or use a strap. And then spin your left tricep in towards your face. Roll your right shoulder open. And then as you exhale, fold forward or stay upright if it's already plenty of a hip stretch. We'll be here for several breaths. Just notice what comes up without judgment. Take 2 more full cycles of breath. Good, then gently come back up, reach your arms up, and exhale the hands down behind you, unwind the legs. Just let the knees windshield wiper from side to side. Good, then come back into staff, sitting up tall, extending the legs. This time we'll cross the left knee all the way on top of right. Both feet are flexed. You can keep the right leg extended or bring the right heel around by your left seat, making that towards an even shape with your legs. Sitting up nice and tall, bringing the hands to the knees and just kind of gently moving them towards each other or towards the midline. And then reach your arms up, bend your right elbow, the left hand presses down to send the right palm down the back, and then either stay here or take your left thumb around and down, clasping. You might have a strap available you can use, and then make sure your neck is not crunched. And then either stay right here if this is plenty, or next exhale, fold any amount. Take several breaths. It takes a while to get into the hips. Just be patient with yourself, never forcing. Sending the breath to the hips. Take 2 more full cycles of breath. And with your next inhale, gently come back up, unwind and reach both arms up. Exhale, the hands down, unwind your legs, soles of the feet to the mat. Let the knees windshield wiper. And then come back into down dog for just a moment. And slowly walk your hands back to your feet, forward fold at the back of the mat. Then just ragdoll your way up to stand, and we'll come into a squat with the big toes together, your knees wide, and your heels will come up. So we're coming into crow, but first just playing with that transfer of weight into your hands. So just like we did on our backs, you're going to walk your upper arms as far down that thigh shin connection as you can. You're going to plant your hands forward of your shoulders, quite a bit forward, and spread your fingers and kind of grip the mat. And then you'll lift your hips a little bit, but think more about going forward than up. And just play with that shift of weight into your hands. Your elbows move in towards each other, and you're creating a little shelf like chaturanga, and then come back down into your squat. And do that a few more times without coming into crow. So you're squeezing your knees around your upper arms, lifting the hips a little and shifting forward, and then come back down. And then one more time. Lift the hips, shift forward, belly in and up, elbows move towards each other, and then come back down. And then this time, if you want to play with lifting one foot and lifting the other, you can do that. So we'll plant the hands, shift forward, maybe you lift one foot, maybe the other, steady breath, gripping the mat, and then you can come back down and rest when you're ready. Nice. And then come on to your back and hug your knees into your chest. Rock a little bit side to side if that feels good. And then soles of the feet to the mat about hips distance apart. And the shins are vertical, straight up and down, arms alongside the body with the palms down. Inhale, lift your hips up into bridge. Stretching out the front body after all that contracting. And if you'd like, you can interlace fingers and roll onto your shoulders. Steady breath. And slowly lower all the way down. Bring the soles of the feet together and the knees wide. Bring one hand to your belly, one hand to your heart. And you can do Shavasana this way, or you can stretch the legs out and let the arms flop out. Just wherever you are, letting everything sink heavily into the mat. And letting yourself be right here in this moment. Let your next inhale be a little deeper. And then if your knees are wide, take your hands to the outsides of the thighs and gently bring them back together and into the chest. If your legs are outstretched, gently bring the knees in, and we'll roll gently off to one side. And use the strength of your arms to slowly, gently press yourself up to a comfortable seat, keeping the eyes soft or closed. Sitting up nice and tall through the spine, hands to heart center. Thank you so much for sharing your practice with me. The light in me sees and honors the light in you. Namaste.